Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
Hi guys, welcome into another episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. We are in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I'm excited to come to you today from the Pipeline event here in 2025. It's been a great event so far. We are recording in studio here, and I don't know when this show's going to come out in comparison to the other show that we recorded here, but I've never been in a room with no corners. There's no corners on these walls. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Like literally look right there, there's no corners on the bottom. So it's for sound purposes, I guess. I don't know. That's what the pros say. This dude behind here is pushing buttons. I'm like, I've done 700 podcast episodes, but I don't know. I'm hoping they turn out all right. This dude's a pro. So he's got it all figured out. But I'm here with Ryan Mack, and we're going to talk about all things I don't even know we're going to get into today. The last show we talked about life purpose and mission, and we're supposed to be talking about tools. I don't know what we're going to get into, but I'm excited. I'm standing, I'm moving, my back feels good. We sat on those bar stools. I was like, I cannot sit here for another 45 minutes.
The bar stools get a little rough.
Yeah, they get a little rough. So sorry, you've been on your feet all day. You're probably like, I can't wait to sit down. And I was like, nah, I'm standing up. But
no, I'm actually enjoy most of the time we sit.
Are you a standing desk guy?
I'm not.
Okay. We can relate on that.
It's also like a misconception at Milwaukee Tool that's like, oh, you work in the office, that you're at your desk all day.
Yeah, you're not.
No.
Yeah,
like
you're usually on the run.
We go to a bunch of meetings. We work very collaboratively. Like, we're always talking in person. We're doing hands-on. We're going to the field and talking to users. So for us, like, I'd rather be up and moving, and that's what makes it fun.
So if you're watching on YouTube, you have a really cool display of things we're going to talk about today. If you're not watching on YouTube and you're listening, go check out YouTube, because we got some cool stuff we're going to get into sitting here on the desk with us. But Ryan, tell me a little about yourself. Like, we're going to talk Milwaukee, right? But we're not here to promote just product. That's not what our show does. That's not who I am. That's not authentic, right? I want to know about Ryan. Tell me about you, how you got into Milwaukee Tool, how you ended up here, kind of your story getting to this point, and then we'll kind of dive into some of this now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up in Ohio, actually.
Ohio. OH?
IO. I did go to Ohio State. Before I went there, I grew up in a small town, so I graduated with 30 people from a public school. And parents owned a trucking company. Brother got into excavation. So I kind of always been around like equipment, trucks, always been around in the trades. My parents had rental properties, so doing a bunch of work on that. So kind of like got interested in tools, went to Ohio State, got a degree in marketing and a minor in economics, and then ran into
and then go to work for a tool company. That makes a lot of sense.
That's how it kind of got started. And then I started to draw the parallels, like when I was at Milwaukee Tool. Like, oh wow, like my background has kind of taught me a lot, but it's also helped me relate to the people that we do research with every single day. Mm-hmm. So it makes it really fun to take a prototype out to the field, show it to them, and then see how excited they are that it like changes the way they work. Yeah. Especially like, even taking a cordless grease gun back home to my brother who does.
I'm taking this one home in case you didn't know. This one's going in my carry-on.
Who works on like small equipment or large equipment. He's like, man, I don't have to hand pump grease all day. This does it for me and a lot faster. And
you're doing so much. Like, the impact is there. And just what we're talking about with Bradley is like the impact you get to have by creating you're just building a product. Like, but the impact you have in that person's life, like you are hands-on this development stage, testing phase, right? You get that out in there to the hands of the users, and you're making their life easier. You're also saving like the longevity of their business and livelihood, because by using that grease gun right there, they're going to actually do the maintenance that they wouldn't usually do if they were hand pumping. Right?
Absolutely.
And so the machines are actually going to run a lot longer and a lot better. Like, you're saving them, by that product, you're saving them thousands and thousands and thousands in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is like one example, right? Like, if you think of the audience that you guys cover, everyone that's listening today, like, hey, they probably running mowers, running equipment. It's the maintenance side that usually gets lost. And
100% first thing to go.
First thing to
no
go,
questions
right?
asked.
It's like, hey, I got to go get that job done.
Yep.
No operator really wants to go grease the equipment every 8 hours like they're supposed to.
Every 8 hours. That's funny. That's comical.
So, like, it's, the little things, and the maintenance is always what gets, kind of lost. And for Milwaukee Tool, when we talk about our focus, we talk about transportation maintenance.
Yeah.
And really, it's the maintenance of things that move. Doesn't matter how small it is or how big it is. If it's moving, like, we want to be able to maintain it. And we have hundreds, if not thousands, of solutions to be able to help people do that.
100%. And it's kind of where we're at now. Like, in our business, we have a lot of moving parts. Literally, we have a lot of moving parts now. Mowers on the go, trucks on the go, trimmers, all the things on the go, tracks, skid steers, excavators, all the things, right? And so you get into it and you start running these things and you're like, how do I keep up with this, right? How do I manage this? How do I keep maintenance up? And some of these pieces here we are going to talk about and dive into a little bit. So talk to me a little bit, I guess, about, like, what is your actual role here? What are you doing day to day inside of Milwaukee? And then I want to dive into some of these products that you are hands-on with all the time. Yeah,
so I do product development, covering what we call and classify as transportation maintenance. So we've talked about how it's the maintenance of things that move, and kind of overseeing, like, a little bit of the macro strategy, and then we run our own NPD products as well. So making sure that we have the right things on the roadmap, going out and working with users to understand, like, hey, what would a cordless shop look like to you? That evolution doesn't happen. You don't snap your fingers and it happens now, right? It happens over time.
Mm-hmm.
And we've done a couple really unique cordless tests that I thought were really interesting. Like, we're working with some really large commercial fleet vehicles, like over-the-road trucks, and they have, like, these yellow lines, and they're like, hey, we want to help keep our people in these lines. And we went and did a cordless test. They were using all pneumatic, went to cordless, and what they were going to track the data for us. So, like, what's the tech productivity? Does it change? And it was cool to see the results that came back, because switching from cordless to pneumatic, you saw a 3 to 4% savings in labor time over a month. So
really? Where did that come from? Do you know? Like, did they say what the reasoning for that was?
It was the total encompassing, like, labor savings, and we did it across 2 different techs, and the results were relatively similar. One was 4% savings, the other was 2.5%.
Yeah.
So, like, but if you think of, in a shop, you're connected to the airline all the time, right? Well, opening up the doors of not having to be able to be connected to that airline opened up some productivity savings. Plus, when you start to tie in, like, what we're capable to do with cordless now, it's not
where you can go, like,
where you can go, plus the performance aspect, and driving back to, like, hey, we can make that job done faster, better, easier. Something like a ratchet where you're replacing a hand tool ratchet gives savings. Something like a M12 screwdriver where you're not using a hand screwdriver saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the things that we thought it would be. It was the little things.
Yeah.
That really, like, drove it. So it was cool.
That's awesome. So do you get to go out to the field a pretty good bit then with development?
Absolutely. It's really critical for us. So before a project kicks off, ensuring that we get to the field and understand, like, what the user's looking for. How do they use the tool? What tools are, like, kind of connected in a similar vein of workflow?
Yeah.
And that's going to allow us to understand, like, okay, what's the cordless needs look like? What's a battery need to be able to do in that environment? And then to be able to define the applications. And then throughout the development, we go to the field at least 6 times with prototypes to make sure that when we get ready to launch the tool, it's going to stand up to what we say it does.
Yeah.
And that's the really fun part. And the whole time we're doing that, we're working with our internal teams to make sure that we're testing the heck out of it to make sure that it lives up to what we say it's going to. It's going to live up to the warranty that we sign up for.
So do you personally end up doing, or do y'all distribute this across, like, other branches? Like, do you do or over testing that happens in South Florida and that happens in Oregon?
Yeah.
So that's you, like, these tools you manage all over the place.
Yep.
Okay,
so
cool.
We'll assign a product manager. Right now, we have, like, roughly 1 to 2 per PM. And
cool.
They track that project, and they'll work with 10 to 20 users at a time to really go get the feedback, fly out, drop the tool off, fly back out, pick it up, and hear the feedback firsthand, or make sure that we're seeing the product used as well is really important.
Yeah, 100%. Well, let's dive into this. I want you to kind of walk me through. And guys, if you're listening, you're just going to have to bear with us here. It's going to be an interesting conversation for sure. But if you're watching, you're going to get a lot more visual because we're going to get hands-on with some of this stuff, and you're going to have some really, really good ASMR, just in case you didn't know. I'm a child. That sounds good, doesn't it? That's like every man's dream.
You said you were going to do that before.
100%. Yeah. I fell behind in my intro. So walk us through some of this, man. What are we dealing with? Like, I see ratchets. I see subcompact impacts. I see grease guns. Like, how are we using this in everyday applications? What is the benefit to them? This is like the M12 lineup, one M18. I'm not that familiar with M12, honestly. Like, I've always just been M18 guy because we've never had things that we really need M12 for. But the more we grow, the more we kind of need M12 stuff. A lot harder to reach spaces, and so you let's just take it away. Show me what you brought this in here for a reason. You obviously have some story, so tell me why you brought this and what you want to talk about.
Yeah, let's start with like the mission of M12. Right?
Yeah,
when we started back in 2007, 2008, like there was no cordless solution in that size range, right? And if there was, it was basically a drill. For us, when we started M12, was like, we want to be able to, really go out and focus on like, how do I replace a hand tool? Right?
Oh, yep.
I'm holding a Milwaukee hand tool. Like, we have them for a reason.
Yep, a manual ratchet.
But like, there's a lot of repetitive motion injuries. There's also, a lot of loss in potential productivity.
Time, yeah, my goodness. If I ever have to use a manual ratchet, I'm not happy. Like, it's not fun.
Yeah, so that was the mission of M12, right? And it's kind of grown and evolved over time as, M18s went on this crazy journey of like, we're going to go after, it started as, we're just going to go after like AC tools. And now it's like, it's going to take on these high-end pneumatic tools, and it's going to take on these low CC engine gas products. Mm-hmm. And
it's getting there.
And it's getting there. And it's an evolution. It's going to continue to grow. And M12 has kind of, stepped up into this, like, we're going to go take on a little bit of pneumatic. We're going to take on hand tools. And we're really going to fill this void with it. So M12 plays a really critical part, right? Like, we have our new second generation M12 fuel ratchets.
That's going on with me too, in case you didn't know. just want to make sure that you know these things.
And like, this is a critical solution for anybody that works on equipment, right? Like, getting it, like, everything's fastened together with some type of fastener. You don't see a lot of rivets on a piece of equipment. It's a lot of bolts, nuts, bushings, bearings. All of those things need to be serviced and worked on.
I was just going to say, is that like for serviceability? Is that what that, like, what's the reason for that? Like, not riveting?
I think it's for serviceability, right?
Yeah.
Like, you do see,
like, I could break this thing down if I needed to. Like, I could break this down and use, like, I could remove these nuts and bolts.
Yeah, for us, it's like long-term serviceability. But like, if you think of equipment, most equipment has a lot of fasteners on it that are bolts, and you got to be able to take them off. They're always not in the best location, right? Like, they're making equipment smaller, more power dense. We're doing the same thing in the power tool industry and trying to make stuff smaller, more power dense.
Yeah.
It packs everything in really tight. So you got to be able to get to it. So making low profile head, making them smaller, making them better ergonomics in the hand is all things that start to really matter. Because now you can start to reach in and get into places where...
I think about so many places where that would be nice,
Yeah. So, it just kind of gets everything going, right?
Well, you got to play it in the mic. Come on, you got to keep up with the trend here. Like, look at that. That's amazing. That's literally the best. That is a man's dream right there. So, especially if it's red. I mean, we don't want one of the yellow stuff in here. We need a red. So.
Yeah, so that's the ratchet. You think of like fastening solutions, right? Like, ratchet's really good at getting into tight spots. Sometimes, you need a little bit more torque. You have a little bit more access. It's where like something like a subcompact will come in. Fits this nice void of giving you enough power where you don't have to break out a hand tool or something, but giving you the ability to take the fastener off. But keeping it a really compact size. Like, we're getting down to the point now where this is literally the size. Like, you can put it in your hand.
It is my hand. Like that. What is that? The drive motor? You call that portion? That's the only thing that's not in my hand.
Yeah, impact mechanism, motor impact mechanism is the only thing not in your hand.
Yeah, that's insane.
Getting it, down to down in size and delivering the performance that people expect, like, is exactly what we're looking to go.
There you go. Yeah. Like it's happening. It's happening. So what are these things up here? What is that like that's the nuts and the bolts of this thing? That's what makes it move?
So this is going back to the ratchets. This is the original ratchet motor. So if you look at it, it's an outer frame motor, brushless motor, but in a product like this, every millimeter really matters, right? So by switching from this design, we're able to go into what we call an outer rotor motor. And
that's a tongue twister.
Allows us,
You said that pretty good.
Outer rotor motor?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, I would say that 5 times fast.
So what it does is allows us to save a lot of handle space.
Yeah.
Not only deliver a ton of performance to the tool. So from our first generation, we took speed of application, torque of application significantly up. So not only making it more productive from like breakaway torque, but more productive of like fastener removal, getting, those long thread bolts out faster. But also giving us the ability to get the hand grip really small. So putting like the motor right in line right here gives us the ability now to make everything smaller and more ergonomic. And then if you're somebody that knows and familiar with Milwaukee Tool, just think of the other areas where we can put it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
100%. So what is that one? What is that? That's like a
This
what is that?
This is a right angle die grinder. So it's also a second generation product for us. It's really interesting every time you think of people that you do different pieces of equipment, right? They're kind of a metal fabrication shop at the same time, right? Like they have hydraulic hoses.
Yeah.
You break one of those, how do you get it off? It's the fastest way is to cut it off and then get a wrench on it or something like that. Or, I need to weld something on or modify something. A lot of, in this space, you see a lot of, creative solutions being done. And die grinders really help you get there, right? A capability to run 2-inch, 3-inch discs. For surfacing, you can run 2-inch cutoff wheels. From our first generation to second generation, we're delivering 2 times the force to be able to push down. So giving people the more ability to, push on the application.
That's what I was going to say. What can you do with it? Like you could put a cutoff wheel on this and like cut through things and stuff. I'm ignorant to this stuff. This is cool.
Yeah.
I just don't know anything about it. I've never been in this space. So I have my impacts and that's about it. But grease guns. That's cool.
Yeah. So, and there's, M12 now has 150 plus solutions on it that are all forward and backwards compatible. Really anchored by like these small fastening solutions, anchored by, some metalworking solutions. We also have an M12 grease gun as well, depending on what system you want to be on, right?
Oh, cool. Okay.
So, and it's really just M12 is about how do we deliver the performance and size benefits that you can't deliver on any other cordless system that exists.
Yeah. Yeah, the size benefits are crazy. There's no question about that. That's 100% the case. I'm your worst nightmare. Like people that come and work at this company, I feel like y'all are like so driven. You're like, I'm a tech guy. I'm learning this stuff. Like I'm like, this is my stuff. I'm like, this is cool. I mean, I'm like the entrepreneurial ADD is kicking in. I'm like, we can talk about this. We can talk about this. We can go all these different directions. I'm y'all's worst nightmare, but you're stuck with me. So
no, I actually enjoy these conversations. It challenges us and think differently.
Yeah.
And that's really our mantra. Like, how do we think differently about approaching spaces and approaching tools that allow us to disrupt?
Yeah. Well, you talk about something like differently, and something I don't hear anyone else say. Maybe they do. I just haven't really heard it. But like every like across the board, I've heard this since I've been here the entire time. It's been we're creating solutions. Right? Like
Absolutely.
That's what the solutions is the word. Do you know any history behind like where did that come from? Like what originated solutions and how did that become so like plant your flag on that? I've heard we're creating solutions 100 times in the last 24 hours.
Our leadership team has done a really good job of saying we are a solutions provider.
Yeah.
Well, in theory, like how do you solve a problem? You need a solution.
Yeah.
You need multiple options. So the approach is always kind of similar in that like we can't do anything until we have an identified problem that we can go solve. And if we have a problem, we can run at a problem.
Yeah.
If it's like kind of opinion based, it's really hard to like gain functionality of an organization to go attack something.
Yeah.
So when we have a really clearly defined problems and we know what is in scope and out of scope, man, we're really good.
And, well, I think that's what keeps the brand so like relative and moving forward, is that everything that's being created is because there's a problem somewhere. Like that you're only building solutions, right? Like you're not just going out and making stuff for fun.
Absolutely.
Like you're literally things people are like, hey, we need this. We just had Q&A in there and people were 30 questions of like, are we doing this? Are we doing this? We need this. We need that. And it's like, it never stops, right? You literally never stop finding a solution to problems. And so the best companies in the world, the best service providers, myself, what do we do at the end of the day? We solve problems.
Yeah,
right?
problems.
We solve problems. And so that's what Milwaukee's doing. And so I think that being clear in that, being open is like, we are solving solutions. We're not building tools.
Absolutely not.
Like that's not what's being said here. I've never heard that messaging one time. It's not, we're not a tool company. Like we're a solutions-based company.
We're a solutions provider.
Yeah. And like that's messaging that I think resonates with anyone who's trying to grow bigger than themselves.
Yeah, and like a lot of people play in hand tools, right? Like you see thousands of different hand tool brands. But for us, we said we wouldn't go get into hand tools unless we can deliver innovation that matters. How many times have you been in a position where you can get a socket on, but then you can't fit the wrench? Well, if you put 4 flat sides on it, on your socket, now you can fit a wrench on the outside of your socket to be able to go. So now it's like, hey, we don't look at this in a silo on just one business unit.
Yeah.
Every person in the team looks at it as like, what's the problem and how do we go deliver on that problem to create a solution?
Yeah. That's good. So what did the internals look like? Let's go back to the culture of Milwaukee a little bit. Like, what does that how does leadership like pass that down to you guys? Like, what is that? And I mean, you're in leadership role as well. You have people that work under you and with you. So how do you pass that down to them as well? Like this whole culture and solutions based, like how does that messaging start and how do you continue to like break it down for people?
Yeah, I think it's a bottoms up and tops down approach, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's got to be grounded in one thing first and foremost, which is like external to internal communication. If there's a problem internally that doesn't exist externally, do we need to tackle it? Not guaranteed. But the more you're grounded in what's happening externally, and what I mean by that, it's like what's happening with the user.
Yeah.
What are they doing? What are they trying to accomplish with a solution? Or, what is going on in their environment that's impacting their productivity? And the more we can define that and stay focused on that, don't get distracted by everything else.
Yeah.
The more we understand the problems that the people are facing that we really care about, the better we can create solutions for them.
Yeah. You can't find a solution until you identify the problem.
Yes.
And that's what happens like in our company. So we're trying to build people. We're adding team members. We're adding crews. We're adding this equipment. And it's like we can't grow the company accurately until we relay to our people what the problem is. And until you know what the problem is, you can't communicate that, right? You can't communicate the solution. And so I think people get caught up in, I need this, I need that. And you've probably heard the analogy like the 5 whys, like go down through the whys, like dispel it down to there's a root issue there, right? I need this tool. Well, why do you need that tool? Because I don't have this. Well, why do you not have that? And it goes all the way down. And I'm sure there's probably some aspect of that y'all use.
Absolutely.
To create some of these things.
Yeah, there's a lot of different tools that we have. And a lot of people always get focused on like, well, here's the one. Well, it's like, well, that one isn't exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah.
You got to hear it multiple times across multiple different users that really allow us to, deliver the innovation.
Yeah.
So it's really fun, and it's awesome when you see teams go ahead and do it right, and then the teams that work behind us, the engineering teams and everyone else, can gravitate and pick it up, and then they're all beating to the same drum. So now you build this like whole team that's all focused on the same thing, and everyone's bought in, and it's all of a sudden magical. It all of a sudden becomes really fun.
Yeah.
Everyone's marketing to, hey, how do we go solve that problem, right?
So how many like direct reports do you have?
I have one.
Okay. Awesome.
So, but the biggest thing I would say is it's not about direct reports. It's
Yeah.
about influence, right?
So how many people do you influence on a day-to-day basis?
I have no
Would you
idea.
think?
I have no idea how to quantify that.
Okay.
So-
That's cool. That's awesome. What have you learned being in this role in Milwaukee, like about leadership and like managing people and helping, again, create this vision and help them find these solutions? Because, you know, we talked earlier, and I'll mention it here for you to kind of give you some context on where I'm going with this, is everyone every day gets up and goes to work for themselves. Ryan gets up and goes to work for himself and his family inside of Milwaukee Tool, right? You may do it inside of another company. You're doing it for yourself. You're doing it to grow your family, right? That's what we do in life, right? And so you may not, like, everyone is an entrepreneur at heart, right? So how do you pull that out of some of your employees that report to you, they work side by side you? Like, how do you continue to lead them and grow that? Because if you're not growing and you're not learning, like, you're gonna stall. And this company doesn't seem to be stalling. Like, people are obviously growing.
Yeah.
So how is that happening? How have you done that in your life, and how have you seen it done to you from leadership as well?
Yeah, I think I tell a lot of people this, like, don't wait to get started. Sometimes the biggest learnings come from starting and failing.
Yeah.
If you can't step back and say, hey, I made a mistake, mistakes are 100% acceptable.
Yeah.
You learn more from a mistake as long as you can step back and acknowledge it.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is to wake up and start. Otherwise, you'll wake up and you'll have done nothing.
And then 10 years will have gone by.
And 10 years will have gone by. So you have to wake up and start.
Yeah.
And you got to make mistakes. But you also have to have the self-reflection aspect to say, hey, I did make mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes, right?
Yeah.
But it's how you learn from it. It's how you overcome it. It's how you maybe you have a bad conversation from a relationship perspective with somebody. But
Yeah.
it's how do you come back and apologize, and then how do you align to step forward and go forward? Because if you're just going to dwell on what happened in the past, that doesn't help. Like, how do you reset
You're not moving the needle forward.
and re-engage in a positive way and move forward so everyone can come forward as a team?
You only fail if you don't take a learning aspect away.
Yeah,
That's how I'm convinced. Like,
that's actually
It's
a
not-
really good way to say it.
it's not a failure. The only time you fail is if you don't learn something from it. If you learn anything, if you learn one ounce of something from it, it's not a failure.
100%.
You just have to know how to change it in the future.
You learned.
You learned, right? Like,
Learning is the biggest aspect.
and there are bigger learning curves, right? If we want to say it that way, there are curves that are a lot harder to learn, right? And more things go wrong than go good, right? And they're not fun. But if you don't go through those, right? There's been a tool that Milwaukee's made in its lifetime where they said we sucked. Like, we have to have a better product, right? Like, that happens.
Absolutely.
That happens in testing. It happens in prototypes. All those things. And so, if you don't learn those things, you're not going to grow the brand that Milwaukee has today, right? And so, in your personal life, guys, if you're watching or listening, and it's like if you're trying to build your company, build your brand, and you want to partner with these people, and this is why I get so fired up about these things. Is like, my company is not here, in this podcast is not here to promote Milwaukee Tool, right? It's not here to like it or not. People, like, that's not what we do. We're not here to sell a product. We're here to say, look, this is a company that we align values with. We're trying to build our people similar to this, and it is a true partner in what we're doing day to day, right?
Yeah.
And this is a true partnership in how we grow an industry, right? An industry that is thriving. Because we sit here and we look at these other industries like electrical, plumbing, HVAC that have all these apprenticeship programs and certifications, and I sit here and say, where is that in the green industry? It's not a thing, right? And so some of these things, we haven't gone too deep, and I don't want to throw up on you before we wrap up here. I don't want to go too long, but like, this is kind of where my passion is. This is where our show goes a lot. And so it's like, these are things that I'm seeing like, okay, this is a potential partner that can actually help with this. The needle can actually be moved forward because they're doing it in other aspects, right? They are building trades. They're building apprenticeships.
Yeah, and it's really important. Like, I always say every time I'm in the field, is like, I'm not selling something.
No, not at all.
And I appreciate
You don't
it.
need
Like,
to.
I don't want to sell something.
Yeah.
I'd rather somebody try it, see the value in the product we created, and make their own decision.
Yeah.
I do not want to sell a day in my life.
No. Like that is like, those are the best people that I can be around. Like, the quickest way for me to be turned off to you is you try to sell me something.
That makes sense.
Do not sell me anything, because if you go through life at all and you try to grow yourself at all, you get around people who have grown themselves and you have any sort of like just business acumen and leadership skills, you just know like how to read people, how to talk to people, how to see people, like how to see and fill needs that they have. If you're trying to sell me something, I spot you like that. And like that, automatic, we're done. Like, I'm not doing that. Had a guy come up to me at 8 o'clock. It was mind blowing. 8 o'clock the other night at my house, came in, door knocked. Like, I have 2 kids. I have like 3-year-old and a 6-month-old. Like, you don't walk up to somebody's house at 8 p.m.
Not with a 6-month-old.
You don't know who's behind that door.
Yeah.
Right? Like that. You don't do that. And he was selling me. So, and it's pest control company. They're going door to door. They're just grinding, hustling, right? Some young dude. And I was like, dude, look, like, if you weren't such a hard sell and such a hard pitch, like, it's not even attractive. Like, you're not selling anything other than this service or this product, right? You're not adding value to my life. You're not telling me anything that, like, you're trying to beat other companies by, sure, give me a better price or something, right? But you're not doing anything to add value to my life. Like, you're not asking about myself, my family, none of that stuff, right? Like, you're just trying to hard pitch me on this service. I'm out. I was like, dude, get off the porch. Like, we're not sitting here having this conversation. And that's the kind of stuff that just fires me up. Like, dude, do not come up and do that to me. Like, do not try to hard sell me like that. I will get fired up real quick.
No, that's fair. I'm the same way. I don't appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I also ensure that, like, I don't do that.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, and that's what I said starting the show. I'm like, look, we're not going to sit here and sell Milwaukee products to you. If I want to do that, I would create a tool channel that says, hey, let's sell Milwaukee products, right? That's not what we're doing here. It's how do we create a partnership that says, let's grow together. So,
what does the future of the industry look like for you?
That's a good question. I think for me, it's like we're trying to grow our business to a little bit larger size company, 5 to 10 million in the next couple of years. Have 50 to 100 people in here, whatever that looks like, we'll see. It's going to be a process, but in that process, it is helping the industry turn into an industry that is thriving with certification programs, apprenticeships. Like,
awesome.
There are plenty of ways to do this. We're just not doing it. And I see that there's options out there. Like the people that get on me the most, that like just like really fire me up, are the ones that will sit here and say, I just can't find good people. Don't come at me with that. That's an excuse for something else. It's either you are not a good leader, right? And you don't know how to lead the people.
Yep.
You have good people come in and they leave because you can't lead them. Or your process to find the people is so bad, the good ones never apply, right?
Yeah.
There's 1,000 people at this event that are all good people. People want to go to work, right?
Absolutely.
People want to work. They want to survive. They want to create good livings for their family. And so we can do that in the green industry. We can do that in the trades. You just have to put a process in place for them to see that, and a vision for them to see that.
Yeah.
You can't have someone roll up to a shop on or a container. Like we run out of a shipping container right now. We don't have a shop yet.
Yeah.
I can't have them roll up on a Tuesday morning and say, here's a shirt. It's 7 a.m. Here's your route for the day. Take off. Like, that doesn't.
Yeah, that's probably not going to fly.
No, like not long term. Like, you're not going to get good people. Because what's going to happen is you'll have a good person come into that. You'll sell them on the interview. You'll pitch them. You'll give them the vision. And they get into that. And it's like, this ain't for me. I'm out. Like, I'm a high performer. I don't deal with this. So, yeah, that's the future for me. Is trying to change that.
It's an interesting parallel because, like, when we onboard, right, it's a lot of spend time on what's the vision.
Yeah.
What's the vision of that one product and what's the vision of the company, right? But what really matters is, like, the engagement along the way.
Yeah.
Making sure you have weekly, monthly, quarterly touch bases. What's working? What's not? How do we evolve? How do we change what we're doing? How do we disrupt ourselves? What's
like but we'll wrap up with this. What is like the one touch point metric system that you follow that you think could be the most impactful for like a small team? Because you're talking like monthly check-ins, weekly check-ins. Like, those are things that is so easy to get missed on a company of my level, like 5-6 people. We're so busy. We're in the field every day. Like, we don't have time to stop, right? We don't have that margin of people stop producing and we can sit here and have a meeting, right? Like, we're producing, we're meeting, we're doing all of it.
Yeah.
So what is something that you see that you use day to day that you may be like, a smaller company out there could benefit from doing some type of system like this?
At Milwaukee Tool, you heard a lot, like, we're people and culture.
Yeah.
Right? But the people are the most important aspect, or one of the most important aspects, right? I think it's the check-in on morale.
Yeah.
Like, what is the mood today? What's the team frustrated with? What's going on in the day? Like, maybe it's just a down day for that person. Maybe but what's the check-in on morale? If everyone's, down, something's impacting them. What is it, and how can we alleviate that problem that will make them either make their lives a little better, their job a little easier? Maybe it's just a hard time and that they need, a little bit of sit down and work through it and find a couple hours to work through the problem with them. Like, I always look at that as a huge opportunity. But I think, like, the morale metric is, like, one of the biggest things, right? If you are a company that really cares about your culture and your people, the people are what help build the culture, and it's one of the most important aspects to just really monitor and stay attuned to.
I love it, man. That's fantastic. Well, that is a good spot to, I think, press pause on. We've had some amazing conversation here. We've had a great time at the event so far. Is there anything that we missed that you were like, hey, I want to hit on this? Anything that's top of mind?
No, I think the really interesting thing, and I'm up here as a transportation person, transportation maintenance, but the crossover in the industry of everything that you guys do requires maintenance, right?
Yeah.
And that stays top of mind for us. It's not lost on us, and it's really important to include, right? But it's how everyone's going to work together in the future that's really going to propel all the trades forward. And I think that's the really interesting aspect of everything that we're showing here today, everything you'll probably have talked about on other podcasts today, and what's going to be talked about in the future.
How can we all come together to unify that mission and drive it forward?
Absolutely.
So, I love it. We're going to change the industry, guys. We're going to change the trades. Just stick along. It's going to happen. I promise you that. I appreciate Milwaukee for letting us come out. This awesome studio, guys behind the camera back there have been just so gracious to us, giving us a great platform to sit here and host. Let me push buttons into the microphone to make funny sounds. That is the show that we have here. I appreciate each and every one. Oh, yeah. Always going to let us do it one more time on the way out. Look at that. That's awesome. So I appreciate you guys. I love you. Care about you. If we can ever help you, please reach out and let me know. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a big thumbs up, subscribe there, and we'll try to do some more of this content here in the future. If you're listening on the podcast audio, podcast doesn't have an algorithm, believe it or not. Algorithm, everything else in the world has an algorithm except podcast. So we need
something new every day.
Yeah, you learn something new every day. So Apple needs to get their stuff together and start putting an algorithm together for podcasts. But we need you to leave us a big rating and review, share the show, actually physically share it on your socials. So that's how people see us and come listen to new shows, and we continue to grow the community one relationship at a time. That's what we're here for.
Awesome.
So, guys, thank you. Appreciate you, Ryan. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for letting us come out and have a good time.
Thanks
Great conversation. If we can ever help you, please reach out and let me know, guys. But without any further ado, that's going to wrap this one up. And we look forward to catching up with everybody here on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.